The opening scene of the film shows a man named Rencia and parks his car in front of a mansion. Rencia comes here to take the life of a rich man. Basically, that man is a president of $1 million toy company. The man is shown sitting in the storeroom and seeing his toys placed on the shelf. He sees a green fairy and later stands in the window of the study room. Rencia was also watching him and loaded his gun. He puts a mask on his face and moves near his target. He wears the face mask so none will be able to see his face in cameras. He places a phone at the entrance to trick the security guard. There is a countdown on him, and he gets worried seeing the phone. He wants to throw it far, but then Rencia hits a chance from it and ends the guard. The target doesn't hear the voice as there was a silencer in his gun. He was not alerted. He goes to the security room and steals the keys from the guard. Moving there, he disables the CCTV cameras. After it, he takes off his mask. Then he goes to the study room and finds another guard. He ends that security guard easily. Later, he goes to the room where his target is and shoots bullets in his chest and ends him. His target was ended and Rencia picks a green fairy from there. He sees a picture on the table. This was the picture of the person who died. There was a note on it as well, but he ignores it. He is shown enjoying the plane and tells his client, "I have successfully done the murder." The passenger asks for the clue, but then sees a green fairy in his bag and gets shot. She thinks a grown man is taking toys with him. Rencia reaches the airport, and the news of the murder was spread everywhere. He notices a girl having a doll-like doll that was placed in the room of the president of a toy company. He doesn't think about it but feels weird. Later, he sees another toy, and he has seen it in the room of the person he murdered. He reaches home and places the green fairy on the table. He has many other things actually he uses to take things from the persons whom they murdered. He was tired and sleeps on the sofa. He sleeps while replying to his emails. He awakes at midnight and the doorbell rings. He sees from the front door and doesn't open the door. There was a receptionist who had brought a box. He doesn't open the door and the receptionist leaves. He brings the box inside his house. He places it on the kitchen counter and there was a note on it having center information. He doesn't know about the center. The signature was the same as there was on the mother's picture of the man whom he murdered. Rencia wants to throw it far but was also curious. He decides to open the box and opens the wrapper carefully. It was a toy box and there were many toys in it. Surprise bonus was written on that box. Rencia carefully analyzes it that it may have bomb-like things or it may be a trap. He does not find anything like this and opens the box. There were plastic soldiers inside the box having guns, tanks, and helicopters. He checks the box and there wasn't any suspicious thing. At night, this box falls from the kitchen counter, but he remembers the box wasn't on the edge. How did it fall? He becomes surprised when he doesn't find soldiers in the box. He doesn't know where they have gone. The weird things happen with it, like the curtains start moving and the light was blinking automatically. Rencia notices the cable has gone with it. A soldier attacks his foot. Rencia has understood the soldiers are behind all this. When he bends down, the soldiers start attacking him with bullets. They are small and doing huge tasks. He moves behind immediately, but when he comes near them, they attack him with an explosive. The explosive burns his pant. Escaping from them, he comes to the washroom hurriedly. He finds his knee injured and many bullets were stuck in his skin. He doesn't want to come in front of those soldiers, so he uses the mirror to see their acts. The soldiers were destroying the lights and bulbs in the living room. So there will be darkness everywhere, and seeing his mirror, they attack him. Rencia goes to his room and fills his gun with bullets. He wants to scare those many soldiers with gun. Later, he takes out his rifle from the kitchen cabinet and was shooting with it everywhere. There was silence for a short time, and getting a chance, Rencia picks the cushion from the sofa. So the soldiers will not get a chance to hide. He turns the couch when the soldiers were silent and there wasn't any noise. He sees many dead bodies of the soldiers under the couch. The survivors were helping the other soldiers. Many of them were helping others to get on the jeep. Rencia was seeing all this but wasn't believing his eyes. He places his feet on the soldiers to end them, but the soldiers fire him. He also shoots at them, and many of them were ended by his single bullet. The attack isn't over here, and 3 army toy helicopters merge under the table, and they were moving toward him. The toys attack him from inside with cannonballs. They were throwing their mini missiles at him. Rencia, who gets scared, comes to the washroom and sees the mirror. There were many wounds on his body and face, and he applies alcohol to his cuts. He dresses his wounds, and then a helicopter comes inside and makes a hole in the door. The helicopter was attacking again and again. Rencia holds it with a towel and flushes it, tossing it down the toilet. The soldiers were still not giving up. Later, he tries to end them with a hairdryer. He put this hairdryer into the water and the soldiers die finally. He decides to stay in the washroom tonight. This was important for his safety because he was injured. After some time, he sees a soldier. He throws a note to him from outside the room. Surrender was written on the note. Rencia gets shocked to see the smartness of those soldiers. He writes a reply on the paper and writes, "Screw," and sends them. He sees secretly that a group of soldiers is ready to attack him with their tank. The group starts attacking him while making a hole in the door. There was bombardment everywhere, and he has to move out to escape. He comes out of the window, but can't run because he was on the 14th floor. He slowly starts walking towards the balcony. Meanwhile, another helicopter attacks him. Rencia shoots at them, and the helicopter crashes. After crashing it, he reaches the balcony. He becomes relaxed reaching there. The soldiers were waiting for him to return. They have pointed their guns toward the window. Rencia thinks of a plan and wants to distract them with robot ducks. The soldiers were watching him, and he attacks them from behind. This group was escaping, but then another group converts their attention. They were also firing at him. Rencia uses a lighter and a spray for producing fire and burns all of them. Later, he divides them into many portions with a knife, being furious. Then he goes to the group whom he set on fire and throws a huge box at them. He ends them, and the soldiers finally die. To believe that all soldiers are dead, he counts them. He also counts their number from the box. He was becoming happy while matching the number that I have ended all the soldiers. Now he wants to take a rest, but he has forgotten the bonus surprise. It was written behind the box. Rencia goes to the swimming pool for relaxation. Then someone hurts his wrist in the water. He comes out of the water and his wrist was bleeding. It was compulsory to save his life that his wound should be dressed soon. He starts sewing his wounds with a thread and needle. Later, he decides to leave the house so the soldiers will not attack him again. He doesn't know the problem will chase him to the elevator. The light goes and the button panel breaks, which means Rencia can't open the elevator door. He turns the flashlight on and sees around. There wasn't anyone around, and he again sees with the flashlight. He sees a commando, and this toy commando was running for a helicopter. Rencia also wants to move behind him but couldn't. He was trapped in the elevator and shown jumping from one elevator to another. He removes the ceiling panel and moves to another elevator. He was feeling now the commander will not reach here and he is safe here. His happiness doesn't last for so long, and he sees the commando has reached here while chasing him. This commando toy was attacking him with a knife again and again. Rencia wasn't harmed as it was a toy. Rencia somehow holds the commando and puts it inside the elevator door. The door crushes Commando's head. It dies, and Rencia becomes happy that he has ended the commando. He holds its body and becomes happy to see it. Then he discovers there is an explosive bomb in its body. The bomb blasts and Rencia dies. A sticker is shown in the toy box, and it was written the commando is like a nuclear weapon, and it is a surprise bonus. The fairy toy is also shown moving. You have seen the marbles of those soldiers. Here this movie ends. Please subscribe our channel for more interesting videos.